hours on that. And I've had a lot of problems. I've paid a lot of dummy taxes, but the one thing I've never had an issue with is what I'm doing to grow and develop myself, is it going to be worth it? I always knew it would be. And that's one of my main messages when I speak to people, is understanding that whatever you got to do to change your world and live your ideal life that you want, it's worth every freaking second
Yeah.
that you spend on it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure, sure. You know, it's funny is when you get out of that financial hole, if you make the commitment to get out of the hole and you get to the other side of it, what I've seen is once you're on the other side, you really ramp up the efforts with excitement to save more, make more, and be smarter. It accelerates once you get over that hump. And I love that feeling. We're enjoying that as a family. By the way, my wife and I, we agreed never to argue about money. She's had a stressful life with money without having any money. So I actually take care of the books, which is our arrangement. But I've paid all those dummy taxes. I made all the mistakes before her, and we're very transparent about what we have. But you've got to figure out with your spouse who's going to play what role and how much you share in the right ways.
Yeah, and that's why we wrote our book Couples Money. Is it's got exercises, and it takes people through roles, stories, what did parents tell you, all those things, because it's important, because the biggest determining factor of your financial life is really what your parents told you around money between ages 0 and 4.
Yeah, yeah,
And most people, Jim, never even check in on whether that is serving them or not. And that's what was happening in my family. Generations of just stuff being passed down, and our families just accepting it and running their lives unconsciously around money until, I'm 37 at that time. I just turned 50. And I'm like, maybe this is all BS. And so you got to do that work. And it's really cool if you can do it as a couple, like, figure out what their belief systems are.
Just curious, you use the age 0 and 4 for kids, what they pick up from their parents. Why that age, or what's your reasoning behind that?
Well, they're 50% programmed. I mean, we have our conscious mind, our subconscious mind. Subconscious is 95% of the show. It runs your life. You don't do life. Your programs do your life. But we have the ability as adults now to accept and reject ideas, just like people are listening to me right now. They're either accepting what I'm saying or they're rejecting.
Yeah,
And from 0 to 4, you don't have that.
yeah.
You have no accept, reject. So you just get what you get like a sponge, and you want to gain acceptance. So to gain acceptance, you end up buying everyone's BS. So, Jim, 96% of Americans retire broke.
Yeah, yeah, true story, right?
And everyone's like, oh, it's more financial literacy education, which I'm a big proponent, and I do a lot of it. But what's more important, the golf club or the golf swing?
Yeah,
The golf swing is the most important part, and the golf swing is belief systems. The golf swing is what you think around a certain topic, and you're either getting results or not. So, yeah, so 0 to 4, man, it's crazy. By the time you're 18, man, you are 95% hardwired, good to go on your belief systems. And sometimes it takes a oh crap moment, like for me, to wake up and
yeah.
figure out what that was and is, and if it's serving me or not.
Well, I agree with you on that age group. Kids are so moldable at that time. It's so important to give them the proper parenting and education that you can at that time, because they're like little sponges. I'll give you a little funny story what came into my mind when you mentioned that. I was working for a client who paid me large sums in cash, and it was every 2 weeks I would come home after a couple days of working there, and I would put the cash on the counter and have my wife put it where it goes. And so my kids saw that, right? They saw that, like, wow, what is that, Daddy? What's cash? And one daughter was 4, the other one was 6. And when I was done with that client, usually they're 3 to 6 months, but when I was done with that client, I'd brought home a check from another client and put that on the counter to go where it needed to go. And my daughter says to me, she says, Daddy, are we going to be broke now? Because you only have one piece of paper compared to that stack you used to bring home.
Oh my God.
She didn't understand the difference between cash and check. And so it was a great learning opportunity to talk to them about how banking works and all that other stuff. But I always got a kick out of it. She thought we were going to be broke because I only had one piece of paper.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Hey, I do have another question for you as it relates to couples. And I think this is rather common. Maybe in your case with your new wife, it was you were the issue, not her. But I find a lot of couples, you have a saver and a spender. And oftentimes that spender is somebody that likes to get a lot of retail therapy and swipe that card. And then you got the saver that doesn't want to upset the apple cart or does confront it. And the spender's like, hey, I need these things, or I want these things, or I deserve these things. How do you curb that in a relationship or fix that problem? Because it's black and white. It's water and oil,
Yeah, no, awesome question. I'm actually doing an Instagram post tomorrow on this very topic.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because I was spending, she was the saver. And what we coach people on is they got to have a unifying goal. And so for us, it was, we had no money. We set a goal, and I tell every entrepreneur to have this goal, get 100,000 saved. If you have nothing, and I can coach people on how to chunk that down and make it happen and make it a little more believable. But it was, we want 100,000 saved, and it was us spending really an hour, not just on setting the goal and how to, why do we care? Why did it matter? And so the problem in my first marriage was we had a gap in expectations. Mm-hmm. And that's that ruins every relationship. Mm-hmm. I was justifying what I thought. She was justifying what she thought. The gap was there. The gap got worse. And we never had any unifying goals. And so setting a unifying financial goal with your spouse, spend or save or whatever, that's what we had to do. And it was 100K. We wanted some of that for a down payment. We wanted financial relief. I needed to see my kids. And we spent more time, Jim, on the why of the goal. And what happened is we were on the same page. We bought in. We debated it. We bought in. This is the goal. This is why it's important. We committed each other to it. We had a weekly check-in. Are we moving closer? Are we not? And dude, you couldn't get me to spend $1.
Yeah.
On any crap, because now I had emotional buy-in to the goal.
Yeah.
But most couples do not have unifying goals. They actually don't even know what each other wants. It's nuts. And you can't get financially independent if you don't know what it takes. So that's, December 30th, my wife and I will sit down. We'll spend 3 or 4 hours. Here's our point A. Here's where we want to go. This is where we are. And it's really powerful to have the weekly check-ins, even if it's 20, 30 minutes, and talk about the unifying goal. And are we moving closer or not? Because as you know, what you focus on expands. The number one topic in personal development is the power of what you focus on.
That's right. Absolutely. And, I'll have to say that once you achieve that type of goal, for example, the $100,000 in the bank, not only your level of stress disappears over financial freedoms, but the relief to know, hey, should something happen to me, I can't work or what have you, we've got some backup. And I would certainly hope, probably most Americans fit in within this category, that $100,000 would get them by for 4 to 6 months, hopefully with their conservative lifestyle. I mean, if you think about it right now, big news story up here in Montana is about, vaccine mandates. And if you don't have it, you're going to be off work. Well, if those people decide, hey, I'm not going to get a vaccine and they're going to be off work, wouldn't it be great if they had the financial backing to make that decision, and how much easier it would be? So money in the bank is so important, and the relief you get from it is far beyond anything you would get from buying the next shiny object.
Yeah, no, and that was everything we do in life, Jim. We're hoping to gain some sort of feeling. Mm-hmm. And so that was actually relief is powerful. And that was part of my morning routine, was actually seeing imaging and visualizing relief.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a great book out there called Your Money or Your Life. Unbelievable book. Somebody really wants to get their crap together and dive in. But literally, it's the best definition of money I've ever heard of, and it's some money is something you exchange your life energy for.
Right, right. By the way, you talk about money and life energy. Um, making money, in my opinion, is a good thing because the more you have,
Yep.
the more you can give, the more you can do for others. We live a life of gratitude and giving back as often as we can. And if we weren't blessed and fortunate and hadn't paid some of those dummy taxes, we wouldn't be able to give. And so, making money is a good thing, but saving it in the right ways is also a very good thing.
Yeah, well, and if you understand your life energy, it's the example in the book is let's say you're really making $20 net per hour.
Mm-hmm.
If you really do the math, how much travel time, how much time you really work, what you make, taxes, all that, and if you go drop $1,000 on a sofa, you just exchange 50 hours of your life energy for that sofa.
Yeah.
Was that worth it? It's such a good awareness check-in. And now there are certain things that are worth it. There's experiences my wife and I do. Once we hit a big savings goal or a financial goal, then we'll go have the blowout trips to reward ourselves.
Right.
But I'm not going to go blow $200 at the bar and exchange X amount of hours if that's bringing me no value in my life. It is such a cool filter to look through how you spend money.
Yeah.
And you should have fun along the way, but it's got to bring value to you.
What a great tool for kids as well. We do that once in a while with my kids. They'll want a toy. Maybe it's $20, $30. Every time we're in Target, they want a toy. And I like to tell them, say, well, this toy, which is $30, and if you look at my wife subs at the school to be involved, it's not about the money, but they pay $10 an hour. I said, okay, if you want this toy, mommy's got to be gone for 3 hours to buy this toy. Would you rather have mommy at the house for 3 hours, or do you want this toy? Well, they want mommy all day long, right? And so you can start teaching them the math and the importance, like you said, the time, the exchange. I mean, I love that sofa example. Is that sofa worth 40 hours, a whole work week? Maybe not. Maybe not.
Yeah.
Chris, talk about your book before we have to go. I know we've covered probably some of the topics in it, but what else can people expect if they get your book? And by the way, where can they get it?
Yeah. So we got our website, couplesmoney.com, and we have the book out there. We also have, I got a complimentary 1 hour coaching. You can sign up there. $500 value, and I can walk you through all sorts of things to help you, get the right trajectory, financially. There's some talks out there. I'm available to do, speaking on, Zoom, live, whatever, depending on how COVID turns. But, on this whole topic, money mindset, I have a whole keynote on it. So they can get the book there and get the 1 hour coaching session. They can follow me on Instagram at CF_E, the number 2E, and E to E stands for I want to help people move from being employees to entrepreneurs. So that's my mission and my movement. So those are places people can find me, but really the book is it's a combination of how-tos, mindset. We touched on probably about 5% of it here. There's a lot of value in there and a lot of things you can work through, as a couple or even an individual, and change your life, which is what we're here to do.
Well, absolutely. And I hope that people understand how important it is to have your money matters in order, especially as a couple. We can make mistakes as a single person and hopefully recoup from that. But when you start creating a family and money's so critical to your happiness that they do smart things, I think it's awesome that you're offering a free hour of consultation. I think the book sounds like a wonderful tool. I was taught a line by my business coach several years ago, David Meltzer, and he said we should live